A news hour tonight. Victims of Jos building collapse narrate ordeal as Governor Mutfwang orders closure of affected school. Abducted Kaduna journalist, family regain freedom after 1 week in captivity. Adamawa Delta State hold local government elections as some governors kick against Supreme Court judgment affirming local government autonomy. And on the foreign scene, at least 8 killed in shootout during Somalia prison breakout attempt. Hello and welcome to News Hour on Trust TV. I am Chiamaka Mwafo. The news. Victims of Saint Academy located in Busa Buji community of Jos North local government area of Plateau State have been narrating their ordeals after surviving the incident. Trust TV reports that the collapse of the school has led to the death of 22 persons, while 37 were injured and 40 others rescued unhurt. Adu Musa visited one of the hospitals where the school children are receiving treatment and files in this report.
More than 130 students and teachers have been evacuated to various hospitals for treatment following the collapse of the building. Some of the school children, along with their parents, who are still struggling with the emotional distress, have been sharing their ordeal.
In the class, my classmates and my teacher. Then the noise of the building falling started, but we couldn't run, so some people went under their table. But when my head was on the table, so the decking of the upstairs fell on my head.
I was not breathing there at all. The decking just covered me there. No air, this space. Only dust that was entering my nose. Through the grace of God, and I come out. Some of our students died there.
It hit my hand. My hand was on top of my hand, so I spent many hours before they even discovered me, and before they removed me, they had to break the building.
Well, I have a child, and this is the one in the bed here. And indeed, it was a traumatic experience, most especially for the baby, because for someone to be buried under rubble for 2.5 hours, you know what that trauma means. And to us parents, we've given up, we've cried that she's dead. Not until after those hours, she was discovered. And with the miracle of God, she's safe, and it ended only on one arm, and maybe the trauma that is in.
Up to now, we never see Chidubem. Up to now, we never see him. And they pray for God. Many people pray for me. May I see my son, Chidubem.
Governor Caleb Mutfwang, while sympathizing with the parents of the victims, ordered the closure of the school and listed steps to be taken to avoid a recurrence.
This rate, we cannot allow this school to function. I hope you know that. For the parents who still have children in this school, it's unfortunate what has happened, but of course what it means is that this school is closed down immediately. We can't take any further chances. And we need to send this message, particularly to owners of private schools. The drive for, the motive for profit must not overshadow the safety of lives. And so we are going to take steps immediately to do a technical audit of all the schools.
The zonal coordinator of the Nigerian Building Road Research Institute, North Central Office, also said, though they are yet to conclude their investigation on the building, but some issues have already been identified.
We've obtained some samples yesterday. We're here to continue with the collection of samples. We got steel, we got concrete yesterday. We are going to subject all of them to laboratory analysis. We are collecting soil samples today. We'll dig up to 2.5 meters to collect the samples and then do our tests in our laboratories, the bearing capacity test, to know the strength of this soil. If it was such that it could have carried this building, we'll check whether it was a soil that caused the collapse. We'll check the level of compliance with regulations. We check the materials used.
The state government has confirmed that 74 persons have been discharged, while 58 remain hospitalized. Ado Musa, Trust TV News, Jos.
Here in the FCT, 4 persons have been rescued alive from the rubble of a collapsed 2-story building in Kubo axis of the Buhari Area Council. The FCT Emergency Management Department, FEMD, in a statement by the Acting Director General, Florence Dawan, said 2 of the rescued victims had been taken to the Kubo General Hospital. Here's more of the story.
Dawan added that efforts are ongoing to search for any other person that may be trapped in the collapsed building. The FCT Emergency Management Department, National Emergency Management Agency, FCT Fire Service, Federal Road Safety Corps, the Civil Defense Corps, and the Nigeria Police were still at the incident scene as at press time. Dawan, who is at the incident scene, appealed to developers to follow strictly the building code and avoid the use of substandard materials.
Anybody that is not a tenant, leave this place.
The FCT Police Commissioner Benneth Igwe and Chairman of the Buhari Area Council John Gabaya were among early callers who visited the scene to assess the impact of the damage.
Rescue operation is still going on. That is why all of us are here. Because we can still hear somebody cry, a lady cry. Yeah. So we pray that the operation will continue so that we can rescue her alive. Okay. We are asking the hotel, they may not know because some people ran away. When I was here earlier, some people ran away from when the thing happened. So we cannot confirm for now, but we think the only one person that we are seeing trying to see what we can do.
I've inquired. I've not had myself the limo yet, but the people that were there and the manager that we met, he said all of a sudden it happened. Even though a woman that was outside there, she said when it happened, the structure was shaking and I ran out. And the few persons that were still remaining, before they come out, the building collapsed.
So this morning, I think about 7, that was when we had that rumbling sound. So I thought it was from my next compound. I for me to rush out. So only for me to rush out, and I heard, commotion, and all. So I went to the front and saw that the building had collapsed. So coming to my backyard, this is the back of my house, so everything had already come down. So they've been trying to rescue people. They've rescued some people. So they called FEMA. FEMA, they are around. Fire service are also out. So they've rescued some people. They are still trying to rescue more people. And some people still trapped inside. So they are still trying to do the rescue right now.
What happened yesterday? A man who is living in that building left there yesterday saying he noticed a car yesterday. So he left with his family. So 5 a.m. this morning, some people that are living there say the building started shifting. You understand? Started shifting. So some of them left and they tried to notify others who are living there. So those ones, they knocked at their door. Where they were knocking, those ones didn't answer them. So that they are inside. Some of them left before the building collapsed, and some are still inside. And some are still inside. 7 a.m. this morning is actually the time that this incident happened.
The collapsed building contained 45 self-contained rooms. It was previously used as a hotel before it was converted for residential purposes.
Have you received?
Flash floods have devastated farmlands, homes and livelihoods in the Blabiri community of Michika local government area of Adamawa State. Gibson Saudigo reports that the victims are now counting their losses and trying to rebuild their lives.
The Blabiri community in Michika local government area of Adamawa State, surrounded by mountains, frequently suffers from heavy downpours. This annual occurrence leaves behind severe devastation of farmlands, homes, and livelihoods. Governor Muhammad Finki received a report of a recent midnight downpour that wreaked havoc on the community, he visited the site to assess the damage. After inspecting the affected areas, Governor Fintri announced that the state government will utilize its limited resources to aid those affected, particularly those who lost their homes and sources of livelihood.
It's quite unfortunate that in the middle of July, our people have started experiencing heavy flooding that has destroyed houses and the livelihoods of thousands of people in this community of Michika and Madagali. It's unfortunate because we're already just recovering from the damage caused by the insurgents, and now again we are being visited by overflooding because of the rain in the early month of July. We don't know what we will experience in August, in September, and in October, when the rain will have been more heavier. The government will sit up and look within her lean resources to start coming to the aid of these people, particularly those whose houses are damaged and those who also lost their livelihood. They should be vigilant and ensure that those who are by the banks of these streams relocate to a more safer place. I think for now, if we do that, we'll be putting ourselves on a more safer position.
The governor, who sympathized with the people, said the government will, at the end of the rainy season, explore ways to mitigate the flood routes, especially during heavy downpours in the mountainous areas. This comes at a time when farmers in other parts of the state are praying for rain due to prolonged dry spells. Gibson Soadgo, Trust TV News, Yola.
A fire outbreak suspected to have been set by yet to be identified persons is said to have destroyed a palace at the Gidan Rumfa, where the 16th Emir of Kano, Muhammad Sanusi II, is occupying. The incident, according to sources from the palace who asked not to be named, said it happened Friday night around 11 p.m. The source said one of the palaces, the one located at Kofra Kudu, where the emir sits every Monday for court, is seriously affected. When contacted, the public relations officer, Kano State Fire Service, Saminu Yusuf Abdullahi, said the command is not aware of the incident as there is no call regarding the incident at any of their centers. However, the chief of staff to the emir, Muniru Sanusi Bayero, in a statement confirmed that a fire incident occurred at the outer court of Sanusi's palace. He said there were no casualties, adding that the damage was minimal. Two journalists who were kidnapped by bandits about a week ago in Kaduna State have regained their freedom. Abdul Ghaffar Alabelewe of the Nation newspaper and Abdul Rahim Audu of Blueprint newspaper were abducted from their homes in the Danhonu community in Millennium City of Chikun local government area of Kaduna on Saturday, July 7th. Although police authorities have not confirmed their release, a relative of one of the victims said they were released on Saturday afternoon and are on their way to Abuja for medical attention. One of the journalists, Abdul Ghaffar, was released along with his wife and two children who were kidnapped together. The chairman of the Nigerian Union of Journalists, Kaduna State Council, Asma'u Yabo Halilu, also confirmed the release of the rescued journalists have been taken to Abuja for debriefing by security agencies and also to get medical treatment. We go down south where the Osun State Police Command has arrested 3 suspected kidnappers for the abduction and murder of 2 persons. The suspects were arrested by the Police Command's anti-kidnapping squad. Hamidu Yewadi files in the report.
Following the report that 2 persons, Kelechi Aga and Tega Robinson, were kidnapped, men of the police anti-kidnapping team were deployed instantly to rescue the 2 men from the kidnappers. But before the anti-kidnapping team could close in on the suspect, they killed their victims.
So after
I participated in the killing, and that's what brought me here. That's all I can say. This man beside me sold this pump action gun to me.
Pump action tí wọ́n bá lọ́wọ́ ọmọ yẹn tó lè mí ìrìnàjò fún un. So ohun tí mo fi ń tà fún fáwọn èèyàn ni pé security ni mo máa ń ṣe tẹ́lẹ̀.
I'm an ex-security operative who has been selling guns to people. When cartridges were scarce, my supplier decided to increase my supply. That was how the business expanded gradually. It's true, I sold this pump action gun to this person. The police public relations officer for Osun State Command, SP Yemisi Okpalola, said the suspects have killed several others in the state.
They have killed a lot of people, even to the member of the House of Representatives that was contesting that they killed. They said a lot of things, and we have been able to, to arrest most of them. But the rest that are on their flight will be arrested very soon, and they will be brought to justice.
The PPRO commended the anti-kidnapping team for their efforts and assured that the suspects will face the full wrath of the law. Amid Oyegbade, Trust TV News, Oshogbo.
The Nigerian police is set to commence the enforcement of the digitalized Central Motor Registry (ECMR) on the 29th of July 2024. This, according to police, is to rejuvenate and digitalize the motor vehicle registration system, significantly bolstering our nation's safety and security framework. A statement signed by the Force Public Relations Officer Olumuyiwa Dejobi said the ECMR is an advanced real-time online repository of motor vehicle data designed to support police investigations, operational activities, and combat vehicle-related crimes, including terrorism, banditry, kidnapping, and armed robbery. The transition to a digitalized system will streamline the documentation and verification processes for vehicle ownership and related transactions. The statement added that following the directives of the IGP, services such as change of ownership, change of license number, change of engine, and change of chassis/body would become seamless, as the ECMR system would ensure the validation of vehicle genuineness and ownership, enhancing the ability to track and recover stolen vehicles effectively and preventing the purchase of stolen vehicles by innocent buyers. Over in Anambra State, judiciary workers will on Monday, July 15th, commence an industrial action that may paralyze courts' activities and other judiciary matters in the state. A letter notifying the state government of their intention to commence the indefinite strike was made available to journalists on Saturday in Awka. The workers under the aegis of Judiciary Staff Union of Nigeria, JUSN, said the strike is to protest non-adherence to an agreement reached between the group and the state government in 2011 and 2015. At a press conference in Awka addressed by the chairman Henry Ezoke and Secretary Ugochukwu Nwezi, the judiciary workers said the action followed the Anambra government's refusal to pay consolidated judiciary salary structure (CONJUS). A letter of notice by the group to the stakeholders in the judiciary sector stated that the strike will last indefinitely until government meets the conditions. The letter, which was addressed to Assistant Chief Registrars, Registrars in charge, and all staff of the Anambra State Judiciary, called for the withdrawal of services. The group stated that this was necessary following the expiration of a 21-day ultimatum issued to the state government by the union on the matter, which was ignored. This is the News Hour on Trust TV. Up ahead. Public schools in Katsina get a facelift as government tackles major challenge. This story and more when we return. Please do stay with us.
Hey Stars, get more value for your money with StarTimes Upgrade promo. Recharge 1 month on Nova, Basic or Classic Bouquet and get upgraded to the next bouquet to enjoy exciting top shows like Hidden Truth,
Even if something happens between you,
For the Crowd,
Because I share this apartment.
Celebrity Cook-Off.
Okay, viewers.
Now, by the time we use half of it, the food goes sweet well.
Prides of Passion and more. If you're on Super Bouquet, recharge for 1 month and get an extra 5 days free. La Liga is back on Star Times. Anticipate. Get ready. It's big. This offer starts from June 13th to August 15th, 2024. Recharge now and enhance your viewing satisfaction with the Star Times Upgrade promo. Terms and conditions apply. Star Times. Entertain your family.
Are you in search of a top-tier studio equipped with state-of-the-art gear for your next productions? Look no further than Trust TV. At Trust TV, we pride ourselves on offering a sizable studio space furnished with cutting-edge equipment perfect for podcasts, video productions, and audience-based shows. From professional cameras to advanced lighting setups, we've got everything you need to bring your vision to life. And the best part, our rates are affordable without compromising on quality. Ready to elevate your productions? Contact Aisha at 0803-646-3018 to book your studio at Trust TV today.
Welcome back. Thanks for staying with us. A recap of our top stories. Victims of Jos building collapse narrate ordeal as Governor Mutfwang orders closure of affected school. We also told you that abducted Kaduna journalist family regained freedom after 1 week in captivity. Two more stories. Adamawa State's local government elections have seen a notably low voter turnout, attributed to the boycott of the main opposition party, the All Progressives Congress. Gibson Saudigo tells us more.
The local government elections in Adamawa State faced delay, with the process expected to start at 9 a.m., beginning late due to the delayed arrival of election materials. Even after voting commenced, many polling units across the state's 21 local governments saw minimal voter turnout, with only a few individuals casting their ballots. Governor Ahmadu Murufindri cast his vote at polling unit 001 in Kerchinga, Madagali local government area. Speaking to journalists afterward, Governor Findri expressed satisfaction with the election process under his administration.
Almighty Allah, I'm grateful for how and the manner in which the State Independent Electoral Commission was able to organize this credible election, that the good people of the state are so happy and the participation is so high, their spirit is high, and that is my delight, and that new leaders will emerge from this process, and we give God the gratitude. By the time we're leaving in 2027, we'll have bred up new leaders that will take over from us, youthful ones, with full of energy, intellect, understanding of the diversity of the state. This is what we intend to give the good people of the state.
Some voters who participated in the council election expressed satisfaction with the process despite the low turnout. They urged the winners to fulfill their campaign promises and deliver on the mandate given to them.
And everybody knows that the election is very free and is very credible. So my expectation that as you have interviewed His Excellency, new leaders are going to emerge today, tomorrow, and they should work as what His Excellency have been doing. They should lead, they should be very honest, they should be very transparent, and they should make sure that they help people as what His Excellency is doing.
18 political parties are taking part in the local government elections, with the main opposition party APC boycotting the exercise. Gibson Soadugo, Trust TV News, Yola.
Still staying with the local council polls over in Delta State, eligible voters this Saturday trooped out in their numbers to exercise their franchise in the local government elections despite the early morning rains. The rain started at about just as accreditation commenced at about 9 a.m., while various stakeholders commended the seamless electoral process by the Delta State Independent Electoral Commission and the peaceful conduct of voters. the All Progressives Congress condemned the Delta State Independent Electoral Commission for failing to release sensitive electoral materials, including result sheets and ballot papers for the local government council elections. Trust TV's Jonathan Awanyai was there and files in this report.
The election was peaceful in most parts of the state where Trust TV monitored. Speaking shortly after he voted, the Delta State Governor, Sheriff Ubrewori, commended the peaceful conduct of the election in the state. He praised the Supreme Court judgment on local government autonomy, stating that the autonomy will help develop the communities.
I came through the same process of free and fair election, and with all the opposition, I won with very high margin. So I'm assuring Delta that this election is free and fair. I've been up since, monitoring the process, and now I'm here to cast my vote. I've casted my vote, and we're sure I will be victim of PDP by the grace of God.
Others commended the electoral umpire for the timely commencement of the process, as well as early distribution of materials.
Everything is going smoothly without even quarreling. All parties are there to sort out all things, and the whole collection center is quite peaceful. And I think we have done very good things.
PDP is coasting to victory, but it's over 24 years. We'll be winning all our elections, so we've not lost any.
Security patrols was okay. There was no crisis anywhere as far as this election is concerned in the 264 units in Isokonot. I can attest to that. The place has been calm. The people came out to vote.
I can actually say this is the first time we witness free and fair, genuine elections without no crisis, without no destroying of the bureaucracies. And I believe this also came through with instruction from the SLC that I don't want any problems. And we, the leaders, we went down to our various wards to actually sensitize our people, let them know that we don't need violence in our election. We have to practice the dividends of democracy. So it was really a nice one, free and fair.
Voters' turnout was very impressive. I have never seen that kind of turnout in a local government election before. The turnout was very impressive. In spite of the downpour this morning, people still left their homes to come and vote, to exercise their right to select their leaders. In my unit, for instance, the election was peaceful, although towards the end, we had a case of some people trying to move the ballot box, but we were able to overpower them to get our material intact.
However, leaders of the All Progressives Congress, APC, in Delta State expressed lack of confidence in the ability of the Delta State Independent Electoral Commission, DSEC, to conduct a free, fair, and credible election. The party also alleged that all the board members of DSEC are PDP card-carrying members, hence they are incapable of being neutral and can't be independent of the Delta State PDP. 10 political parties participated in the election. Jonathan Awanya, Trust TV News, Asaba.
Still staying with local government matters, Oyo State Governor Seyi Makinde has labeled the Supreme Court's ruling on local government autonomy as a distraction from the more urgent issues confronting the nation. Recall that the Apex Court, in a landmark ruling delivered by Justice Emmanuel Agim, ruled that it is illegal and unconstitutional for governors to continue to receive and seize funds allocated to local government areas in their states. It maintained that the dubious practice, which has gone on for over 2 decades, was a clear violation of Section 162 of the 1999 Constitution as amended. In a video released on Saturday, Makinde highlighted the imperative to tackle the fundamental issues of productivity, hunger, and discontent in Nigeria.
I think it's just a distraction. We must face the real issues that we have. And the issue that we have is we are not producing enough. We're not productive. Whatever it is that we're sharing in Abuja, which is what this FAQ is all about. Oh, okay. Whatever is in Abuja, share it to the local government. Is that our problem? well, okay, maybe it may be a part of the problem that, yes, you want to have a value for what is being shared, but our real problem is productivity. How much are those local governments generating within their domain? Can they survive without handout from Abuja? And handout from Abuja, is that the way to go? Is it sustainable? The ball is in your court, really. You must peel through, look at the real issues, and don't let us be distracted.
The judgment of the Supreme Court giving financial autonomy to local government councils continues to stir up reactions in the polity. But as the dust settles, the spotlight is now focusing on the implications of the judgment on operations of local government councils. Governors who are directly affected by the ruling are hinting that the general public is unaware of the huge support states are giving to local government councils. Kehinde Amodu looks at the responses of state governors to the development and what it might mean.
The polity has been upbeat since the Supreme Court ruling on local government financial autonomy. Governors have remained neutral to the ruling, each pledging to implement the judgment. But under the surface, currents are in high drive. Despite supporting the judgment, there are hints that the state governments may not be as supportive of local governments as they were in the past.
We welcome the ruling of the Supreme Court. Compliance is a given. And our Attorney Generals have applied for the enrollment order, which we'll study carefully. But by and large, governors are happy with the devolution of power in respect to local government autonomy. It relieves the burden on governors. People really don't know how much states expend in building out local governments, and that's the issue there.
The ability of local government councils to meet up their responsibility now that finances are being paid directly to them is a great concern. And governors are quick to remind them of what these are.
It's not going to affect the states. We've never tampered with local government funds, so it's going to continue. What the local governments have to do is to manage themselves, especially with the upcoming minimum wage, to manage their affairs and make sure salaries are paid. Traditional rulers get their 5%, and those are the main issues.
And even the way that has been run so far, at least under my administration, the resources of the local government have been made sure that the resources get down to the local governments to address their staff, paying teachers and paying the pensioners and paying primary health workers and so on and so forth.
Going forward, the onus will now be on local governments to perform above expectations. It means that a situation in which most local government chairmen and councillors live in state capitals away from their constituents must stop. From State House Abuja, Kehinde Amodu, Trust TV News.
Still staying with reactions. The Pan-Yoruba Socio-Political Association, Afenifere, has condemned the judgment of the Supreme Court, which granted total financial autonomy to local government in Nigeria. Afenifere, in a statement on Saturday by its leader and the National Public Secretary, Ayo Adebanjo, and Justice Faloye, described the Apex Court's judgment as a mere judicial conspiracy. The statement was titled, Tinubu and the Grand Conspiracy Against Democracy and True Federalism in Nigeria. According to the group in the statement, the judgment was against the principle of true federalism, adding that the Supreme Court had played to the gallery in delivering such a judgment. The group also alleged that the ongoing administration of Tinubu had been practicing a unitary system in some of its policies since its inception, insisting that the only way forward for the country was to practice true federalism. More reactions have continued to trail the judgment of the Supreme Court granting financial autonomy for local governments in the country. Over in Benue State, the judgment was received with mixed reactions from the residents. And Jimmy Azande tells us more.
Some of the residents are welcoming the move, though with some reservations because of the urgency they need to settle displaced persons.
Of the fundamental right of every citizen as regards freedom of movement. So it's a step in the right direction, but we expect more proactive steps towards dealing with the issues of farmer herders conflict.
In addition to the government-determined focus of the ministry, all the residents want both crop farming and animal rearing to be considered as private businesses as obtained in other nations.
In other countries like Brazil, they rear cattle more than our country, Nigeria. We've never been getting this kind of problems because
the Senate, opinion leaders, public affairs analysts and pressure groups have over time called for the financial autonomy for the third tier of government for the past almost decades without success.
The security situation in the country is compounded. The healthcare delivery system in the country is not working, particularly at the local government level. The educational system, as we all know, particularly primary education, which is supposed to be the responsibility of the local government, they are no longer capable of carrying out these responsibilities because the resources that are coming are being cornered by the government, by the governors.
Starting from 1999, when Obasanjo came into governance, he sort of scrapped or bastardized the local government system because powers that were vested in the local government before his advent into governance were taken away from the local government chairman, and he tried to reduce the tenure of local government chairman.
These agitations got the deserved attention as the Supreme Court finally put the situation to rest on Thursday. Benue residents say it is a good thing for the masses in the 774 local government areas in Nigeria.
I believe that with local governments having full autonomy, there will be much development at the grassroots. Then the local government council leaders, like the chairman, will also be able to carry out certain projects in their local governments. And then with this, you discover that much can be done. And then again, we can also hold the council's leaders accountable when they fail to deliver. Previously, we have been having issues of blame that the governors have not been releasing funds to the local government councils.
And that autonomy granting is a very good thing, and it has a very big positive impact in the society. I could remember very well during 99 administration, there is a local government autonomy which some local governments chairmen, they are constructing local culvert, local bridge, doing some other things, employing people.
Others say there should be a mechanism to monitor the activities of the chairpersons of local governments across the country going forward.
If elected, they will be given opportunity to embezzle money. So, provided concerning that side of that negative side of it, I will urge the government to still put the local government under the supervision of the state governments, so that they will be monitoring the affairs of the local government and questioning where necessary.
It is left to be seen if the council bosses would justify the many calls and agitations that heralded the Supreme Court verdict for grassroots development. Jimmy Azande, Trust TV News, Makurdi.
Over in Katsina State, students of Tudu Matawale Secondary School for Girls in the state can now heave a sigh of relief as the school, which was once troubled by thugs, making learning inaccessible for many students, has been transformed. With the intervention of a community-based initiative, the school, whose infrastructure was overwhelmed by the number of students and other challenges, now wears a new look. Jamil Mubai visited the school and sent in this report.
Tudu Matawale, Katsina State, is a notorious hub for thugs,
a haven for criminals and crime-related act. Haruna Yusuf, a father and a teacher, recalled how the famous Tudun Matawalla Secondary School for Girls was terrorized by the thugs. Before the construction of this fence, once a student commits an offense, they will just run away and leave the school. They throw stones at teachers and teachers get injured. Years back, the school had no fence, making it vulnerable to attack, with classrooms also overwhelmed with students. Calling attendance was a nightmare, as an average classroom had more than 200 students. As a teacher, you cannot go around while teaching. We have classes with 275 students. To take register, you need 3 teachers assisting the class master. Also, you need 2 teachers assisting a teacher before he can teach. The sheer number of students made it difficult for them to focus, let alone comprehend what the teachers were saying. We hardly comprehend what is being taught. It took the intervention of a community-based initiative to change the narrative. Today, classrooms are now decongested, teaching is stress-free, students' comprehension has improved, while the school now has a perimeter fence. But the impact goes beyond just learning, as students, especially girls, are gaining valuable computer skills and learning other crafts that will open doors for their future. Jamil Mabai, Trust TV, Katsina.
Gombe State Governor Inuwa Yahaya is seeking the intervention of President Bola Tinubu for the resumption of crude oil exploration activities at the Kolmani oil field. The governor, who met with the president at State House Abuja, also spoke about how his administration was boosting agricultural activities in the state. Kehinde Amodu reports.
Former President Muhammadu Buhari in November 2022 flagged off the Kolmani Integrated Development Project, situated in the boundary of Bauchi and Benue states. The project comprises a 250,000 capacity refinery, 350 megawatts power plant, and 2,000 tons capacity fertilizer plant. Since the presidential inauguration, nothing tangible has been done, and Governor Inuwa Yahaya is confirming this.
Because I think there are some issues with the NNPC and also the partners that engage, or the developers. Those issues really have strangled operations to take off. And in fact, it's part of the discussion I had with Mr. President, believing that once he steps in, maybe we'll see activities back, for the fact that petroleum and gas are under the exclusive list, and there isn't much we can do, and the NNPC is the only company that is supposed to handle anything gas or petroleum in the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
Another issue of concern for the governor is high food prices and the inability of people to feed themselves as a result of the harsh economic environment. To this end, the state government has introduced subsidy to encourage people to return to the land and boost food security.
And we decided to go that way because we want to reinvigorate the cooperative system in Gombe, because it helped a lot in the past. And in order to ensure that every person, including those that are really peasant farmers out there in the bush, really got direct support from government so that productivity will increase and the scarcity of food will reduce, and also the prices will come down, especially with the onset of the rainy season.
Though Gombe State is not on the front line of insecurity, the governor says his administration remains committed to ensure the safety of lives and property in the state. From State House Abuja, Kehinde Amodu, Trust TV News.
You're still watching News Hour on Trust TV. Business, foreign, sports. When we return, please do stay with us.
Welcome to Trust TV, your gateway to the captivating essence of Nigerian history, culture, and society.
And this is where the hydroelectric power dam is supposed to be constructed.
Delve into the depths of Nigeria's past with our insightful documentaries unraveling the intricacies of ancient civilizations and colonial influences that have shaped the nation's identity. Immerse yourself in the vibrant Nigerian traditions and customs as we showcase the diverse cultural landscape.
The early history of human existence can be traced to the heart of northern Nigeria. Here, archaeologists found evidence of a group of people who sculpted clay and developed tools to smelt iron.
From lively festivals to time-honored rituals, Trust TV encapsulates the spirit of Nigeria's dynamic heritage. Experience an authentic portrayal of contemporary Nigerian culture that is both engaging and enriching.
With over 250 ethnicities, over 500 languages, and a youthful population, Nigeria has a truly diverse demographic advantage.
Don't miss out on Trust TV's amazing and impactful storytelling. Trust TV, documenting the Nigerian story.
Welcome back. Thanks for staying with us. Let's get to business-related stories. We're following President Bola Tinubu inauguration of the Presidential Committee on Implementing Livestock Reforms on Tuesday. Industry experts have been weighing the expected impact of government intervention in the agriculture sector. The committee aims to address obstacles to agricultural productivity and open up new opportunities that benefit farmers, herders, processors and distributors in the livestock farming value chain. In this explainer, Abdullahi Ahmed takes a trip down memory lane to highlight similar initiatives by past administrations that aim to tackle the gaps in the sector. Here's the report.
This week, President Bola Tinubu indicated the willingness of his government to create a new livestock ministry as part of efforts to improve meat and dairy production and help reduce violence between migrant herders and farmers across different parts of the country. The president announced the possible creation of the Ministry of Livestock Development at the State House in Abuja during the inauguration of the Renewed Hope Livestock Reform Implementation Committee. Now, looking back at past administrations' attempts to manage the livestock industry in the country, here's a rundown of what was tried in the past from 1999 to date. First, the National Livestock Development Project, NLDP, was introduced in 1999 by the Olusegun Obasanjo administration. Just 2 years later, however, the Grazing Reserve Development Program alongside the National Program on Food Security were launched. The National Fadama Development Project was kickstarted in 2003, also by the Obasanjo administration. In 2005, the Presidential Initiative of Livestock was also introduced. 3 years later, the Yar'Adua administration conceived the National Agricultural Technology Program in 2008. By 2011, the Agricultural Transformation Agenda was launched by the Goodluck Ebele Jonathan administration. Fast forward to 2014, the Livestock Productivity and Resilience Support Project came into existence under the Goodluck administration. And in 2019, the National Livestock Transformation Plan was launched as a reform initiative by the Buhari administration. These programs reflect the ongoing efforts across different administrations to help enhance livestock productivity, improve animal health, develop livestock infrastructure, and support smallholder farmers in Nigeria.
Nigeria has been rated as the country with the most cash dominance globally, with 55% of financial and commercial transactions completed in cash in 2023. On the other hand, Norway, with 4.0%, falls at the bottom of the list. The World Pay Report, Global Payments Report 2024, with the theme, How Consumer Choice is Changing Commerce, highlights that cash accounted for a double-digit percentage in 30 of the 14 markets examined. In 2023, digital wallets overtook cash as the preferred payment method globally, accounting for 16%, representing about $6 trillion of global transaction value. Additionally, the report predicted that in 2027, wallets would account for over $25 trillion in worldwide transaction value, or 49% of all payments, and will continue to expand at the quickest rate. The Director of Research and Chief Economist at Nigeria Economic Summit Group, NESG, Olusegun Omisakin, has said that Nigeria must optimize its crude oil production capacity and other natural resources to be able to develop the economy. He gave this recommendation on Saturday during the Macroeconomic Outlook webinar. His comments came after the Organization of Petroleum Exporting Countries, OPEC, monthly oil market report for June 2024 showed that Nigeria's average daily crude oil production in the month of June rose marginally to 1.27 million barrels per day. Now, Omisako said while the current administration has made some gains in the last 1 year, opportunities abound that can be explored by the government to turn around current economic volatilities for the benefit of Nigerians. He acknowledged that the current government has a better policy environment and clarity than the previous administration, but advised that long-term policies should be considered in order to address core economic issues in the country. He advised the government to address the low productivity of key sectors in the economy, particularly the mining, oil and gas sectors. Away from Nigeria and Somalia, at least 8 people have been killed after gunfire erupted between security forces and inmates at a prison in Mogadishu, the country's capital. The confrontation broke out on Saturday at the city's main prison when armed inmates attempted to escape, prompting an exchange of fire that left 5 prisoners and 3 soldiers dead. According to the spokesperson for the Somali Army's Custodial Corps, Colonel Abdikani Khalaf, 18 other prisoners and 3 soldiers were wounded in the incident, adding that no prisoners escaped. Security sources said the inmates who had attempted to escape were from Al-Shabaab, the Al-Qaeda-linked group. Al-Shabaab has been fighting to topple the fragile central government in Mogadishu for more than 17 years, carrying out numerous bombings and other attacks in the capital and other parts of the country. Still away from Nigeria, Kenya's police watchdog says it is investigating whether there is any police involvement in the gruesome discovery of mutilated bodies dumped in a Nairobi rubbish tip. The Independent Police Oversight Authority, IPOA, is also looking into claims of abductions and unlawful arrest of demonstrators who went missing after widespread anti-government protests. Police initially said the severely mutilated bodies of 6 women tied up in plastic bags were found on Friday and dumped at a garbage site in an abandoned quarry in Mukuru in the south of the capital. The IPOA said in a statement later that the remains of at least 9 people had been recovered, 7 of them female, and called for swift investigations to identify them. Kenyan police are under sharp scrutiny after dozens of people were killed during the demonstrations last month, with rights groups accusing officers of using excessive force. National Police Chief Japhet Koome, the target of much public anger over the protest deaths, has resigned after less than 2 years in the post, Kenya's presidency announced Friday. He is the latest head to roll as President William Ruto scrambles to contain the worst crisis of his rule, triggered by deeply unpopular proposed tax hikes. Crowds that gathered on Friday at the site where the bodies were found were chanting, "Ruto must go," the slogan of the wave of protest led by young Gen Z Kenyans. And finally, in sports, an exhibition game involving 6 rugby teams has taken place in Abuja ahead of the Interstate League. Trust TV's Adini Ajishafe was there and fastened this report.
The Abuja Rugby Football Club Intra-Club Tournament, powered by Nigerian Rugby League Association and played in Abuja, had 6 teams participating in touch and contact rugby games. The Kings Guards, the Barbarians, the Berserkers and the Spartans play earlier in the touch rugby games, where the Barbarians outscored the Berks 34-31, while Spartans lost to the Kings Guard by a point in the 22-21 point games. The Kings had 27-24 points to head the Barbarians, while the Berks outrun Spartans 26-12 points. The tough encounters in the touch games ended with the Barbarians emerging overall winners. Thereafter, 2 contact teams locked arms as Abuja Maori sporting yellow-red jersey faced off with the Abuja Mongols sporting white jersey in the fierce game. An intense game between the two brought rugby action to the fans, who cheered on as the game lasted. The coaches were not left out of the action as they prodded their teams to victory to enable them end point. At the end of the fierce rugby battle, the Abuja Mongols had 46 points to win as Maori Warriors scored 14 points. One of the players, Joy Amadi, spoke on the rudiments of playing rugby, emphasizing on how rugby sports add value to life.
Rugby is a contact sport, but then again, they have the non-contact sports of it. But it's a fun game if you understand how to play the ball, how to move the ball around, how to pass it, how to catch, how to make decision plays, and you have to be fit, smart, and fast.
Abuja Maori player Leslie Ume outlined how rugby involves absolute concentration and discipline as a decent sport.
To play rugby, I would say you need to have character. There's a lot of discipline involved. There's a lot of perseverance involved as well. You know, on the outside, it looks like a very aggressive game. People will say, that rough sport, everything. But it's actually not. And I feel that the camaraderie that you get in rugby is unlike any other sport, to be honest.
Winning team Abuja Mongols rugby player Ibite said the special tactics his team applied got them the winning point.
We win by playing as a team, coming together as a team. We learn from our mistake and we pick it up from where we stop. We don't bully ourselves. We encourage ourselves when we made a mistake. That one keep us going. So that, as you can see, we won tactically.
General Manager, Nigerian Rugby League Association, Isa told Trust TV the reason behind the Abuja Rugby exhibition game.
So ultimately, we're trying to generate more awareness for the game. Abuja is going to be participating in the Northern Conference of the Nigerian Rugby League. We're hoping that from here, we're able to play the grand final in Abuja later this year. And with that, we'll have a lot of people coming out to watch the games, just as we've done today. So it's a family activity. We want people to be able to come out with their family, their friends, have a drink, cheer on the teams, and have a lovely day out of rugby.
The official Interstate Rugby League will come up on the 27th of July 2024. That's Sport News. I'm Adeniyi Ajishafe.
That's it for News Hour tonight on Trust TV. For more of our news, programs and documentaries, please do want to follow us on our social media platforms and on our YouTube live stream. I am Chiamaka Nwafo. On behalf of the news production team, thank you so much for joining us tonight.
Trust News Center, this is the News Hour.